Hello, we're reading chapter 2 of Ursula Le Guin's Catwings series, Wonderful Alexander and the Catwings. Here's the first picture. Someone's coming though. As light came into the sky, the birds began to talk softly to each other. They flew about in the trees but kept well away from Alexander. Desolate and half frozen, Alexander watched them and thought, if only I could fly. Whenever he tried to look down at the ground again, he got dizzy and dug his claws into the branch. He could not make himself climb down. He was afraid. Mew, he said in a thin, shaky voice as the sun rose. It's me. Help me, please. He looked over the treetops, wondering who could ever find him deep in the forest and high in a tree. He did not know where his home was. As he looked all around for a glimpse of its roof above the trees, he saw a bird flying straight toward him, coming nearer and nearer. He knew that a cat shouldn't be afraid of a bird, but last night he had seen the owl. Alexander made himself as small as he could and said nothing. But the bird kept coming straight at him, looking at him, and his eyes were round and golden, like the owl's eyes. Alexander shut his own eyes and tried as hard as he could to look like a pine cone. The branch jiggled a little bit. Alexander opened one eye. On the very end of the branch sat a strange black bird. A strange black bird with whiskers and 4 paws and a long tail. A bird that purred. Are you a cat bird? Alexander whispered. The strange bird looked at him and smiled. Who are you? Alexander asked. Me, said the strange bird. My name is Alexander Hervey, Alexander said. I climbed this tree yesterday. I spent the night here. I'm not quite sure which is the right way down. The strange bird pointed a paw down at the ground. I know, Alexander said, and after a while he said, I'm scared. The strange bird walked along the branch, sat right down next to him, and began to wash his ear. It felt very warm and pleasant, as if he were home with his little sisters, and they were all washing one another and purring and playing chase tag. You're a cat, Alexander said. Purr, purr, said the stranger, but you have wings. Purr, purr, she said, smiling. Can't you talk? The stranger lashed her tail a little, looking sad. Well, said Alexander, I can't fly. Purr, purr, said the stranger, and washed his other ear with her pink tongue. She looked a little older than Alexander, but she was smaller. A pure black kitten with golden eyes and beautiful furry black wings. I wish I could fly, Alexander said, because although I am a wonderful climber up, I am not a wonderful climber down. The black kitten looked thoughtful. Then folding her wings, she crept carefully down the tree trunk to the next branch below. As she went, she looked back at Alexander over her shoulder, as if saying, watch, see where I put my paws. Then she waited on the lower branch. Alexander took a deep breath and started down, doing just what she had done. In a few moments, he was sitting beside the black kitten on the lower branch, his heart beating wildly. One branch at a time, step by step, and paw by paw, she led him down and down the tree, always showing him the way and waiting for him. At last, in a wild scramble, they both came down on the last bit head first and landed thump, thump, thump in the moss at the base of the tree. They were so pleased with themselves, they had a game of chase tail right there. But soon Alexander discovered that he was tremendously hungry and thirsty. He followed his new friend, who went half trotting, half flying through the bushes to the bank of a little stream. The edges were icy, but Alexander broke the ice with his paw, and both of them had a long drink. The black kitten sat watching him, as if to say, "Now what?" "I should go home," Alexander said. "My family will be very upset. I've never stayed out all night before. I expect they'll be looking for me and calling and setting out dishes of milk. My sisters will be crying. They don't know what to do without me." The black kitten cocked her head and looked inquiring. "I don't know just exactly where my house is," Alexander said. "I got turned around while I was exploring. Two huge trucks ran over me, and then some huge dogs hunted me, but I escaped." He looked about. There was nothing to see but trees and trees behind the trees and snow beginning to fall among the trees. "I'm lost," he said in a small voice. "Me," said the black kitten cheerfully, and pounced on his tail. Then she trotted off through the trees and the falling snow, her wings folded, her tail held high, and Alexander followed her. Next page is the start of chapter 3.